Right then, Rolling Stone has just released their top 200 hip-hop albums of all time article. I've already heard a couple of mad placements, people talking about it on Twitter. I'm gonna go check out the list, give my live reaction, live results. Let's see what they've done over here. I'm just gonna scan through 200 to 100. When you're doing a list of this size, how can you really compare what was the 197th and the 196th best album? It's kind of nonsense. But Astro World at 200, okay, Juice WRLD, Bandana at 197, Live Love ASAP at 193, it seems a little low, Pop Smoke, Sabba's Care For Me at 184, nice to get that in there. Lil Sims at 180, with Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, bit of West Side Gun, Mac Miller, Divine Feminine, down to 173, right? Like I say, you can't take this stuff this low down that seriously. Pray for Haiti at 168. Again, sometimes, whoa, because the internet at 166, that seems pretty fucking low. Let's remember that one. Blank Face 164, Polo G Die Legend, higher than Because the Internet, and okay, this is where it starts to get a little silly. We're not even at 150 yet, but come on now. Are you taking the piss? Danny Brown in there, 157. Listen, there's plenty of these albums I have not heard, so I'm not going to pretend that I have. Lil Nas X's Montero, kind of a pop record as far as I'm concerned, although he might disagree himself. 151, higher than Live Love ASAP, higher than Because the Internet. Not for me, not for me. Run the Jewels, LL Cool J. Oh, B by Common at 145, seems a little harsh. Magnificent record. Mostly produced, almost entirely produced by Kanye West. Some of his best production as well. And yeah, that seems a little harsh at 145. Beautiful messages, beautiful beats, beautiful rhyming. Eternal Take, higher than Commons B. Eternal Take, higher than Commons B. The Streets, original pirate material. I mean, alright, I guess. City Girls period. I've never actually heard the record. Doja Cat making it in there at 136. Forest Hills Drive, 132. Forest Hills Drive 2014, 132. Let's remember that one. We're taking some notes actually. Get the Zelda book out. You probably can't see that because green screen, don't tell anybody. Well, actually everybody knows it's a fucking green screen, Jesus. Hey, I don't own a multi-million-pound recording studio. Whole Lot of Red, 129. Interesting. Listen, I'm not questioning some of these older ones. I haven't heard some people who are a bit more of an older head than me, not in terms of age. We don't get much older than me on YouTube, sadly. They might say different. They might say, why is this album from the 90s here and this album from the 90s here? But, you know, realistically, I'm just focusing on the ones that I really know. Drake, if you're reading this, it's too late, at 125. All right. Speakerbox The Love Below at 124. The Black Album, not making it into the top 100. Daytona, ahead of the Black Album. Well, you know, I fucking love Daytona. We're coming up to 100 now. Black on Both Sides, Most Def. Raising Hell from Run DMC is 100, going back to some proper old school times there. Okay, now we're getting into the interesting part. We're into the top 100, and this is where I feel like things are probably being taken a bit more seriously by the writers. If you don't know, I'm a veteran of print magazines. Back before YouTube, back before I was a marketing consultant, from 2005 to 2010, maybe 11, I can't exactly remember. I worked on video games magazines here in the UK, internationally sold video games magazine, one called Games TM, an Xbox magazine called 360, and did freelancing for others. And we used to do lists like this quite a lot. And I must say, yes, we put a lot of work in terms of the little articles that you had to write. And yeah, obviously there was discussions on team, but you have so little time in this world to really sit down and think about it, debate and discuss it, that quite often this stuff is churned out. So I'm forgiving the team that made this to a point, but at the same time, when you put out something as emphatic as these are the top 200 hip-hop albums of all time, you need to accept what's coming back your way. Clips Hell Have No Fury at 97. You know, if you're gonna tell me De La Soul is dead, Ice Cube Death Certificate is better than Clips, I'm not gonna argue with you. Introducing DJ Shadow, legendary record. Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon at 90. Yeah, I ain't mad at any of that. Common Again, Like Water for Chocolate, a fucking beautiful CD, up at 86. So actually, it wouldn't surprise me if you swap those two around. But again, okay, wow, right, 85. The Slim Shady LP at 85. Now, I expect Eminem to appear again on this list, but still, everything that's above this, you've got to be able to stand there as the many, many writers of this list and say, that's a better record than the Slim Shady LP. Summertime 06. Listen, if you want to make that argument, I'll listen. It's a fucking great record. Akala from Me, MIA. Slick Rick down at 82. Earl Sweatshirt, some rap songs at 80. Again, I ain't got a problem with the record. Eric B. and Rakim going back. Azalea Banks. Hyde and Slim Shady LP. Watch the Throne. Fucking phenomenal record, but quite low at 77. Gangster. Here we go. I knew something like this was going to happen. Meg Thee Stallion's Fever at 75. Now, nothing against Meg Thee Stallion and nothing against this record, but wow, it's going to take some balls to say that that's a better record than the Slim Shady LP. That's a better record than Hell Hath No Fury. That's a better record, a significantly better record by their standings than Forest Hills Drive. And because the internet, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Rolling Stone. That's fucking crazy. Dr. Octagon, 72. Nice. Fuji's The Score at 70. Feels a little low. Ghostface Killer at 69. Shout out to Big Tony. Anthony Fantano for getting the Ghostface Killer interview. Wow, 64. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. Again. All I'm going to say is there's 63 better hip-hop records than this one. And you can stand by them all. We'll see. Mos Def and Talib Kweli at Black Star in at 63. Phenomenal record. Was absolute pleasure to react to that one just a few weeks ago. That's up on the Patreon if you're interested. Yeah, absolutely love that record, and I really enjoy the new one that came out on like that weird podcast service. But I do have a reaction to that on my channel on the Patreon. Damn, 60. Okay. So again, you're gonna say there's 59 better records. Life After Death from Biggie. I've not heard that yet. America's Most Wanted. I haven't listened to that since back in the day. But I'm not going to argue with that. Licensed to Ill? Yeah, I mean, all right, I guess. There's a legendary record. There's no two ways about that. No Names Room 25, a record that I like. I'm not putting it anywhere near Forest Hills Drive myself, but fine. Migos' Culture. Depends on criteria at this point. Depends on criteria. A very influential album, an enjoyable record. I ain't putting it above some of those albums I've written down though, fuck that. The College Dropout at 52. College Dropout 52. Wow, is that Kanye's lowest ranked album on here? I don't think I've seen one. Oh, Watch the Throne. But I don't think I saw any more, did you? Listen, opinions are opinions, and this is the opinion of It's by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 people. So, what does that even mean? How did it even come to this consensus? In at number 50, EPMD, Strictly Business, and then NWA, Straight Outta Compton at 49. Donuts, Missy, Call Me If You Get Lost in at 46. I mean, it's a great record. I think that's a little high myself, but it's a great record. Late Registration, they're rating higher than College Dropout. I can definitely see that argument. I'd probably still go College Dropout, but, you know, all good. 41. The Chronic at 40. The Carter 3 at 39. But we are getting into crunch time now. There is legitimately, if you told me, you go, John, there are 38 better hip-hop records in the history of the genre than the Carter 3, I'd be like, are you sure? But at the same time, go, well, this genre has been around like 35, 40 years, I guess. Fair enough, maybe there are. But you got to back that up now. Good Kid, Mad City at 38. Raekwon at 37. Acid Rap at 36. No way, I'm rating Acid Rap higher than Good Kid, Mad City. Than Forest Hills Drive. No way. Doggy Style at 35, ain't mad at that. Sugar Hill Record Story at 97, yeah, legendary shit, okay, fine. 3 Feet High and Rising, fine, amazing, legendary. Finally, Rich by Chief Keef, I've never listened to, but no doubting its influence. If you're gonna say it's a better record than Good Kid, Mad City, I mean, I haven't listened to it. Pink Friday, I think they kind of fucked themselves by putting Good Kid, Mad City where they did. Because you've got to really, and Carter 3, you got to back up a lot of these records, man. All Eyes on Me, Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique, Beastie Boys getting quite high again, Mobb Deep, Aquemini, like these are some fucking legend. Reasonable Doubt at 26, Marshall Mathers LP at 25, Illmatic at 24. Okay, is 23 better than Illmatic? UGK's Riding Dirty. I've never listened to the full record. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. R.I.P. DMX, fantastic record. In at 22, Lil Wayne The Drought 3, never listened to it. I've been through most of the Carters, never listened to that, so that's on me. DS2 at 20, wow, DS2, that much better than Good Kid, Mad City? I love DS2, and I do think that this era of Future has gone on to define the next, what's 2015, 7 years of music, especially the 5 after this, I think. I think he's the most influential artist of the last 10 years, and most influential rap artist of the last 10 years anyway. So I ain't mad at that. I understand the arguments for that. It kind of depends what you're looking for, because hip-hop is broader than it used to be. Lil' Kim at 19. Mad Villainy at 18. Yeah. Yeezus is 17. That's a bold and controversial choice, saying Yeezus is a better record than College and Late Registration. I'm kind of here for it. Fine. I love Yeezus, man. And we've done videos ranking Kanye's albums. I've done videos ranking the best songs off each of Kanye's albums. So it's all good fun. Wow, this is the one I heard. Unfortunately, this isn't a true reaction because this is the reason I even heard about this article. That Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy is at 16. Ahead of 3 Kanye West albums. Ahead of Forest Hills Drive. Ahead of Good Kid, Mad City. Ahead of Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP. Ahead of all that other shit that we heard. I can't even fucking remember. I've listened to the album a few times. It's quite good. I can't really remember anything of it apart from that one that has the kind of lowrider beat. That's about it, man. Okay, Eric B. and Rakim, Ghostface Killer. Yeah, we're going some true classics. 2001, The Chronic. I ain't mad at that. Clips Lord Willing up at 12. I prefer Hell Hath No Fury myself. That's personal choice, but I respect the fact that Clips have made it that high. I'd have probably switched them at 97. Fine. I like the fact that Pusha and Malice are getting that sort of props in this list. Take Care at 11. Whoa, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill just breaks the top 10. Are there 9 better records than this? I don't know if there's 9 better records than this ever. Any genre. Low End Theory, fine. Wu-Tang, of course. I mean, well, Missy Elliott, interesting in at 7. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy at 6. I'm going to assume that is the highest rated Kanye album on this list. I can't imagine that any of the others are in there. I would have certainly had more of his records in there. And 808s is one of them. I mean, that may appear. Is one of the most influential records of the last 20 years. Probably had St. Pablo in there, especially ahead of some of these. To Pimp a Butterfly is at 5, so 4 better records than this? I mean, yeah, there's going to be an argument for it. Public Enemy at 4, we're going back legendary. The Blueprint at 3, one of my favourite albums of all time. Stankonia at 2 from Outkast, a record that I love, a record that I spent so much time with back in my uni days, back in 2000, in fact, when it came out. As the sun blares through my window and turns me into a ghost. I think there's arguments that Aquemini is a stronger record, actually, but, you know, you've got to give Andre 3000 and Big Boy all the props, so I ain't mad at that. And then what is number 1? I thought it was because I knew I hadn't seen it. It's Ready to Die. Fine. Listen, if you're going to make an argument for Ready to Die over To Pimp a Butterfly over The Blueprint, I think you're in a situation where probably apart from the Kendrick album, you're arguing about the best record from each individual artist as well at this point. I think a lot of people would argue that different Jay-Z albums are better. Maybe people would say Reasonable Doubt is better. The lack of some of these records, and only one Cole album in there, and Solo really surprises me. And to have Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy, that's just such a mad choice. That almost feels like they did that deliberately to draw attention to it. And it worked because I'm making a video about it. But on what planet, and no other Eminem albums, by the way, just the first 2. What planet? Nothing was the same, not in the top 200 of all time. For Your Eyes Only, not in the top 200 of all time. Only 1 Mac Miller record, only 2 Slim Shady records. That to me is a mad one, and especially, listen, there's a lot of those old school records, like I say, that I'm not going to argue against. I'm not familiar enough with a lot of them, and it's been compiled and it has to go over the whole history of hip hop. Some of the older heads will be, I'm sure, mad at some of these records from the 80s and early 90s being really low. But Cardi B, it's almost unfair on Cardi B, and to have Future so high up with DS2 but not appear again in the top 200 feels crazy to me. Isn't that kind of weird? Travis Scott once, Astroworld, but no Rodeo? Alright. Listen, the top 10 wasn't too heinous in my opinion, but there's some fucking crazy choices on there. Overall, to me, the list is insane. You're always going to be conjuring up trouble for yourself with these types of lists, but my God. Cardi B, bless her. On what planet? Guys, let me know your thoughts on the list down in the comments. I think we're just about to hit 370,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can get over that line today and get up to the next total, which is what, 375? Bottom right hand corner to subscribe, and I'll catch you all very soon. All right, peace.